Welcome to the Club Officers Training for Treasury. It is my pleasure to be here. I am currently the president of the Alexandria Toastmasters Club in Alexandria, Egypt, but I have been treasurer for the past 3 years with the same club. And I'm hoping that today I will be able to share with you some insights on treasury, the role, the responsibilities, and the resources. So let me start by saying this. Did you know that as treasurer, your club is not really an official club without you? When I actually thought of this idea, I thought, wow, this is big. My role as treasurer is very important. Can you guess why I'm saying this? Any ideas?
Because we are controlling the finances of the club, financial health of the club.
Financial health of the club, definitely.
We're paying for the
I think
membership.
we keep
The renewals are in the hand of treasurers.
The renewals
You're the
are in
rich-
the hand of treasurer.
You're the richest
I
man in
think
the
we-
club.
I just feel we keep the club running in terms of the finance, venue fees, and everything else.
That is so true as well. Yes, this is very true. Well, I would say the first thing is because as we collect the dues and pay them to Toastmasters International, no dues, no payments, then no membership, and no Toastmasters Club. That is on the official side. On the unofficial side, as you all said as well, is that we control the finances. We control what we spend here and there and how we manage. Somehow we contribute the financial side to the meeting and the club, which keeps the club running. So what will we be doing tonight or today? Sorry, 3 things. We will identify the role of the treasurer. We will see her or his responsibilities and what they have to do. And we'll check what the resources that are available to us from Toastmasters International that can help us accomplish these responsibilities. So the treasurer role. I would say from this photo, the treasurer role is to actually wear blue and smile to any member and guests in a meeting. You know, this presentation is actually prepared by Toastmasters International. And as a presenter, I can make any modification or some sort of modification. And every time I check the slide, I just stop there and I think, should I keep this photo? Should I remove it? What does it really represent? But every time I decide to keep it just to add my personal joke to it. So joke aside, let's talk serious. The role of the treasurer is to be the accounting manager of the club, to handle cash or checks or credit card payments that deals with money and finances that are coming to the club or that are going out of the club, but also to record them, which is even more important. As for the treasurer responsibilities, the treasurer responsibilities actually span a great deal of time. As we all know now, Toastmasters is not just what we do inside our club meetings, but it's also the preparations that we have to do and the things that we have to do outside of the club meeting. And there are also the responsibilities that we have to take on as treasurers within the club committee. So let's explore these 3 items where our responsibilities as treasurers falls in each of those. We'll start first with the club meeting. And club meeting is not just during the club meetings, but as a treasurer, I have to prepare certain things before the club meeting. So before club meeting, what a treasurer needs to do is to prepare the financial report. Make sure that they record everything that comes into the club, any money that comes into the club, or anything that goes out of the club, any expenditures, any the membership payments, maybe the meeting room rental, anything that goes out or in, they have to be recorded and prepared within the financial statement. Now, during the club meeting, what the treasurer does is they collect the membership dues from all members attending. They could also be collecting if there are certain, and again, the situation of the payments and the money depends on the type of each club. Because you could say that an online club would only have to collect the dues from members and pay them. But for a club that attends physically, there are a lot of things that a treasurer could collect. They could be collecting payments for rental of the meeting. They could be spending the money for printing material, the timer, the counter, the certificates, anything. Maybe they have refreshments, they have food. Depending on the situation of the club, you could add more to your list of the things you're going to spend on or to collect money from, or this list could be, as I said, as simple as just collecting membership fees and paying them. But also during a club meeting, and some clubs do choose to do that, other clubs don't, the treasurer can be asked to report on the club finances. Maybe during the business section of the meeting, they could say what they spend on, or how much they have collected, depending on the type of the club and what they usually do within that club. So this would be the second task for a treasurer during a club meeting. Outside of the club, we have a lot of things to do. We can start by preparing a budget, thinking about the activities that we do and that we're going to spend money on, and prepare a budget. The kinds of activities could include things like an open house, they can be a speechcraft that we're planning to hold, a youth leadership program. Depending on the activity, I can think of or I can prepare a list of the things I'm going to spend money on for each activity. And I can also put in mind the money that I'm going to receive, because if your club collects rental fees from guests as well, they could, and this is what we do in Alexandria, we collect 50 Egyptian pounds, and we only pay to the premise 30. So we know, as the treasurer, I know that I'm getting for each guest that I get, I am getting the difference, the 20 pounds. So that's something that will be entering my treasury at this date. So I can predict, and I know more or less, depending on the seasons, how many persons I usually get. So I can predict, I can prepare a budget depending that would cite this as money that I'm receiving, as well as that I know that in March and in September, I will also be collecting dues from members. So I can predict the money that is going to come into my treasury, and I can also predict what's going to come out. For instance, the membership fees that I'm going to pay to Toastmasters International, and I know that the difference, the club dues, the local club dues are what I'm going to keep. I know that if I'm having a speechcraft workshop, then I'll probably spend X. I'm targeting, say, 10 participants, and I'm going to spend X per participant. So I can prepare a budget depending on the expected activities that I usually do and the planned activities that we're going to do during the 6 months or the whole year. That's how I prepare my budget. I also have to make sure that every time there is a new treasurer, or there is someone else that will be officially helping the treasurer for some reason, that I can provide the bank with a signatory card saying that this person is going to be responsible for withdrawing money from the bank or putting money into the bank. So I have to make sure that the banking information, or that the bank knows the updated information about the club and the club's officials. I collect money and dues from members, and I also pay them to Toastmasters International. We do that, as you all know, by credit card now mostly. We as treasurers, we submit new membership applications. This could be something in accordance, I would say, in participation with the vice president of membership, depending on your club. But this could be a task that a treasurer can do. I have to issue checks for expenditures or just pay. Sometimes we ask or not sometimes, the sergeant at arms, they get to print the material that we're going to use within the club. So I have to get the slip of paper saying that the sergeant at arms spent this amount of money, so that I can reimburse them the money or give them money in advance so that they can go and do whatever needs to be done to make sure that the meeting venue is prepared and everything we need is there. And just to top this up, and again, I have to emphasize on this, the importance of keeping financial records and do them right away, because sometimes I just remember I spent this amount of money today in this meeting to pay for rental, and then I go home and I forget to record it, and then 2 days later that I was supposed to read. So it is really important to keep the financial records and to do this step right away, because it does do a little bit of confusion if left to be done later. Outside of the club meeting, we're still there, and what we need to do is present the financial reports. This could be done, say, if I'm asked to do it in any occasion, it could be in the club executive committee. I have to also be prepared because I could get audited, and the president has the authority to make a committee of several auditors from the club other than the treasurer, and ask the treasurer to present the records to be audited. It's usually done once a year, but if the president sees that we need to do it, I need to be prepared so that my books are in order. When the audit comes, I am ready and everything is correct, is recorded correct. As treasurer, I also have to attend committee meetings, and it is important just to be able to see what the club is planning next. If we're going to have an event, then as treasurer, I have to know or to put this in my budget and to see if I have the finances. I can get a say in this. Okay, we can afford to do this, we cannot afford to do that. So it's important for a treasurer to be present, just to know what's going on and to have his input on what we financially can do and what we cannot do. And they have to, the treasurer also to make sure that the expenditure and cash, they're all reconciled. I don't have money that is more than what my book says, or the opposite, because this creates a lot of confusion. So as I was saying, the importance of bookkeeping and to make sure that whatever I have in my hand or in the bank is exactly what I have in my Excel sheet. So these are, we have to do outside the club meeting. But to add to this, I have to make sure that if I am an NGO, if the club is an NGO, if I have to pay taxes, then I need to pay taxes. If there are any dues that I have to pay to the local government or to the government in general, I have to make sure that my situation from the financial side is all clear and correct, depending, of course, on the legislation of our respective countries. If there is any financial correspondence, maybe a bank statement that I get, I have to file it correctly, and I have to make sure that what I have in the bank is exactly what I have in my Excel sheet. Maybe if there are certain services that are paid that the bank deducts, I have to make sure that this is recorded as well, so that both the records and the financial statement from the bank are exactly the same. And again, as I was saying, preparing for the audit committee, just in case, of course, the president will let me know as treasurer that there is an audit and it's going to be at this certain date. So I have to be prepared for it. And as I was saying, my records are done on a regular basis, and I don't really have to worry about the audit committee because everything's in order. For the executive committee, and these are the tasks of the treasurer within the executive committee. Again, as I was saying, preparing the budget it could be done along with input from the whole committee, because as I was saying, the budget depends mostly on, first thing, of course, the dues that I'm collecting and the regular things that I usually spend money on during a club meeting. As I was saying, maybe venue rental, maybe printing materials. It could be also the awards, ribbons or pins, whatever that I have to give to the club members. But it could also be the special events, the open house, the youth leadership, the speech craft, or whatever special event we are planning. So it is important to get some input and prepare the budget more or less with input from everyone within the committee. To the executive committee, I also get to present the financial reports if I'm asked about them. This could be an option. It could be asked of me since I am the accounting or the financial manager. I have, again, if there is an audit, I have to sit with the auditor and present my books. And if they have any questions or explanations, I can tell them what's going on. But it is my responsibility to deal with the audit committee and present the books to them. And one of the important things is to work together with the executive committee on the club success plan, because the treasurer also has a great deal of input in this area. in the club success plan, we have to plan whatever we're going to do throughout the year for the club. If we're going to have some special events, if we're going to make anything that is a bit unusual just to bring in more members, this has to be planned, and we have to make sure that we have the money. We cannot, the club committee cannot just sit together and think we're going to have this event at this time and youth leadership at on this month, and then we come and see that we don't really have the finances for that. So it has to be worked together, and the input of the treasurer has to be clearly seen in the club success committee. It could be that the finances are not really there at the moment, but then we have to plan how we're going to get the finances, so that when I put in the club success plan that I'm going to have a speechcraft in January, I know where the money is going to come from to sponsor this event and what the expenditures we have to pay again to accomplish this event. So the input of the treasurer in this area is also very, very important. For the responsibilities, well, we have to think about the how, when, who, and what. How we will fulfill this responsibility and when it has to be completed, because as you know, something like membership dues, they have to be paid in October or in April. We usually pay them before the end of September or in March, just to make sure that we are in good standing. So I have to keep track of the due dates. And it could be that we're aiming for the early renewal award. So in this case, I have to make sure that I actually pay the dues online before in August or in February. So it is important to have a timeline or to put the deadlines in my calendar. Who is available to help the treasurer? Is someone available? Can someone replace them if they can't complete a certain task and they depend on a certain person? So I have to bear in mind this as well. And what are the materials and resources I can use to help me accomplish the responsibilities or the tasks I have to accomplish? So let's take an example of the who, when, how, and what. For example, collecting and paying the semi-annual dues to Toastmasters International. I would have to say that we need to maybe divide the statement into two, the collection part and then the payment part. So would anyone like to give it a try? Tell us how to collect the semi-annual dues, when to collect them, who will collect them, and what resources they're going to use, and the same thing for the payment of the semi-annual dues. Would anyone want to try?
Yes, Toastmaster Delhi.
Yes.
Yeah, so what we need to do is, since we need to pay the dues by September end, but let us say the starting of the year, the 6 months renewal. So we need to start whenever the first ESCOM meeting happens. Immediately after the first meeting, we need to make a poster and circulate in WhatsApp. And then there are different ways which we can mention it there, either by the cash during the physical meeting or through the link which we normally prefer. And we circulate to the links and then they pay through the links. When is like we should start like July end or August first week or by August second week, we should start collecting the dues, because if you go last moment, it will be very difficult. And collecting early will give some awards also to the club, because there are different award district gives for early collection of money. Who means treasurer has to collect for sure. There is no other person to collect the fees from the members. And what means here, I don't know what it means, but
that's the resource. I would say that it could be that some clubs do that. You could give the
sponsorship. We have in sponsorship, that is one of the option we can get it from the, if it is a sponsored club. Otherwise, members are the main source for collecting the this one. Otherwise, if we have some campaigns, somebody is going to we arrange some of the events, so that also we can collect the money from there. So there are different ways to collect the money, so mostly is from the members, which I suggest. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, to the payment part, who would like to try on the payment? Or does anyone have an addition? Collecting?
Yeah, we have Toastmaster Nisreen.
Yes, Toastmaster Nisreen.
Now,
Hear you.
for
Yes.
what? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Good morning. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk. What I think it's both the fees, the international fees, plus the additional fees for the club, for the treasury of the club that we pay if there is a rental or something or any additions. So we have to take the money for both the international fees. As for the new members, we have the $20 for registration fees also. Thank you.
Okay. Now for the second part of the statement, which is paying the semi-annual dues to Toastmasters. How, when, who, and what? Who would like to give it a try? No one?
People can either raise their hands or unmute yourself and talk, please. Thank you.
No volunteers? I can hear someone.
Do you want us to again repeat for all of them? How, when, who, and what, or any
Yes, please.
specific? Yeah, okay. So
Yes.
I'm Madhu. I'm treasurer for May Springs Toastmasters Club. How I would say is, again, as previously people have repeated, we'll have to collect it either via cash or check. Not check, obviously, because the amount is not too great. Maybe not check, either cash or online transfers or any other medium wherein treasurer receives the money. When is definitely much earlier than the due date. If the due date is beginning end of September, then probably it would be 1 month in advance is when you could start collecting it. Who is, it could be treasurer as well as it could also be president in some cases, because if treasurer is not able to attend for some reason, he's on a break for, let's say, a month because of studies or exams or something, he could always ask president to collect it and transfer it to the treasurer. And what is obviously the money, it could be or if at all yes, or the, like, I believe district gives some vouchers. Maybe we can use that vouchers also. I don't know whether TMI accepts vouchers, but then at the end of the day, as part of winning certain things, probably district and division also gives out some vouchers, so we can use that as well. So what could be either
Yes.
money or vouchers?
Yes. So and I would also add to what for the case of collection is Toastmasters International has a slip book with the receipts for whenever we collect the money. We just give members a receipt to saying that we've received this amount of money. So this can be another source to use for whenever we're collecting the money. Now, as for payments, so we've collected the money, now we're paying. So how would we pay? And we pay, usually we have to, I would say what as a resource in this case is that we go to Club Central and we log on with our username and password and go there. And we choose to submit membership or submit membership fees. And it's usually done by credit card. So these would be the resources done and how it is done. And we have to make the payments as you all stated. Either if we're aiming for an early award, then we do it in August or in February. If we're not, then we do it by September or March. And this is something for the treasurer again to do. However, all 7 club committee members have access to Club Central and can make the dues payment. So if for any reason, say the treasurer does not have a credit card or is not available to make a payment, they can actually delegate this role to one of the other officers, and then the treasurer can pay them the money that they have paid on their credit. So this is for the example for how to fulfill in the resources available. Now for the resources available. Well, the first thing, as we're all here, first thing to do when you're treasurer is just to go and attend the COT training. Very important just to know what Toastmasters says about how to accomplish this role. And you can also do this through reading the material. The Club Leadership Handbook has a section for treasurer that you've probably all read with scenarios of the situations that the treasurer can be put into. So between both of these, reading the material and attending the COT training. However, attending the COT training has the advantage of giving you half a point towards your DCP program. So it is important to attend COT training. It is also important to meet with the outgoing executive committee and see how they used to do things and what they had planned for the past year, what they've done, maybe the tricky issues, get some tips and tricks on what to do, what not to do, or what to at least avoid to do, the good practices. So it is important to see the outgoing committee itself, and of course, specifically the outgoing treasurer, because he's the one who's going to give you the Excel sheet that the club usually uses for a treasurer. He will give you the receipt book to give to members if you're going to be collecting money, and he will tell you all the details that you need to know. And he will be your point of reference as well, in case you have a question, maybe in the mid of the year or a month or two after you've started your treasurer duty, you have a question and you need to know how to solve that. Go back to your ex-treasurer and check if he was placed in this situation. Ask him what he did and how he solved the problem. So this can be, where this is actually one of the very important resources. It is also important to meet with the committee in the club committee meeting to, again, because you're asked to make a budget. So you need to discuss with the committee what the events that we're going to plan for the year. If we're going to have any workshops, any special events, if we're going to move venue and look for a venue that is maybe cheaper or another venue that could be a little bit expensive. So you have to be prepared and talk to them just to know the things that you're going to really include in your budget. You need to review the policies and protocols of Toastmasters and how they can affect your role as treasury, just to be aware of everything. You prepare the budget. You review all the records and financial reports. Maybe you would want to check the records from 1 month prior to the day you've assumed your role as treasurer, just to make sure that there is nothing that that there is something that you need to put into consideration for the upcoming period. You need to make sure that the banking information is updated at the bank. If, for instance, depending on the situation, if it's not an NGO and it's a personal account, you need to make your own personal account just for Toastmasters. If there is an account that they actually use, if it is an NGO and they have, and the club already has a banking account in its name, then you have to make sure that the persons who are going to be dealing on the account, their information is at the bank so that they have access. You as treasurer, and maybe you want to put the president in as well, just to be a backup in case of anything. So you need to make sure that this information is updated at the bank, and you create or follow the record keeping system. It could be that the club has been having a record keeping system for a while, and just make sure that you are following the same thing. But if you see something that needs an addition, maybe if you file the bills in a certain way, it will be more beneficial to the club, and it will put your mind at ease. So you can also create something new or add something to the system that will improve or help you accomplish your task. As for your resources, as I was talking, the Distinguished Club Program and the Club Success Plan, these are very helpful so that you would all as a committee can plan what you're going to do within the next year and the goals that you need to accomplish. And then you can make sure that you have the budget to do what you've planned, or that you can get a budget to do what you've planned in the Club Distinguished Program and the Club Success Plan. Of course, Club Leadership Handbook is essential. It has all the information that you need to know, and you can go back to it anytime to if you have a question, if you need to check one of the scenarios that it gives, because this is very helpful. And you have the Club Central part on the Toastmasters website. This has the section where you get to pay your international club dues. So this is also a very important resource. And that is it for this part of the program. If you have any questions or need to know anything, I saw someone had a question in the discussion where they were saying, we're going to report our situation in front of members and guests. Of course, not guests. It could be a meeting where members only are invited. Could this happen sometimes? Or members can be invited to a club committee meeting. But again, it depends on the situation and on the practice. Like in Alexandria, we don't do the financial reporting in a club meeting. However, Toastmasters says that you can do that. So it's left to the discretion of the president and the treasurer how and how often and where they're going to do the financial reporting in front of whom again. So this was one question. Who else? Does anyone have a question? You can open your mic or you can write it in the chat box. Any situation that you've been placed to that you would like to share with us?
Madam,
Yeah, I have a question.
I have a question from treasurer of secret. He is both a treasury and secretary. How do I give my attendance for secretary? He is asking. So, okay, sorry. If there was this thing, what kind of support will be there from the district? Is treasurer Nasreen is asking.
Yes, this is actually available from the Code of Practice of District 20, and they tell you that the district actually pays for the special events. They pay they make some certain contribution to the contests, the contests that are there. And if you're having some speechcraft, or it could be youth leadership, but they do pay an amount of money. I'm not sure how much exactly. I think
it is sorry.
Yeah, we have the
area.
This is the reference, yes.
If it is for area, $50. If it is for division, $100. Depend on the requirement, and all that one, it is mentioned in the Code of Practice, as you mentioned.
Yes.
And if there is some event regarding for the clubs, or the clubs can do event for open house or speechcraft, he can give a request. We can give some budget. Depends on the requirement. What we can consider it.
Okay, great. And all the emails, and we have a form for reimbursement of these these money, and we present it to our financial manager, right, DTM Yasser?
Yes, it is to send to DFM.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yes, so as clubs.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Again, please, CGD Yasser. Hello, good morning. 𝗏𝗏 𝗦𝗏. I'm just wondering, the $100 is for what?
If you are making open house and gathering open house for people non-Toastmaster, and there is a condition how many people non-Toastmaster attending and how many members become a member, then you can reimburse for that event up to $100.
Okay,
thank you. How often can we do it?
To be honest, there is no often, but if you are opening open house and lead to a member, you can do it twice. There is no specific mention. We
Twice
don't mention.
Per month, Yani?
No. Open house is one per semester, Yani. Semester or half quarter. But it is not mentioned exactly one or, Yani. It is depend how many time as area director you can do it. If it is through area director or division directors.
Okay, thank you.
So this gives you an idea of what you can expect from the district to contribute. And I think it encourages all of us to just have our special events, because we're helping to bring in more members. And then the treasurer will have his pockets all full of money and can plan on various kinds of activities. And I guess that now we have to register.
One question on the same front.
Yes.
I'm sorry. So is this $100 for the area, or like say a club is doing an open house, can it be extended to the club?
DTM, yes, sir, it's for the club as well, right? DTM, yes, sir.
It can be for the clubs, can be for the club also, but there is a requirement. It is not direct. Okay, we'll make open house, and there is some condition. How many non-Toastmasters attending, and how many people came at Toastmaster from that open house.
Okay, it's more of a like a balance scorecard thing where you actually show the results and then ask for reimbursement.
Yes.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yes, you pay first and then you get reimbursed.
This is the way. Yeah, you can. It is shown in the DFM report. It is shown in the DFM report that's sending to all the members with the requirement how to get that one and how you will fill the form. You can send me a WhatsApp. I can share with you all the requirement. Because I need to go
Thank
to
you
the
very much,
DFM.
DTM, sir.
Okay. And we have the registration form.
The attendance link has been shared on chat. If you can please mark your attendance. Thank you. If anybody else, any other question, please, we still have another 8 more minutes. Or if you want to go have a quick lunch, we can wind up after you have completed your attendance.
Sure. Yes, please remember to complete the attendance, because this is the attendance that counts towards the DCP points. The one you're going to do here, not the one that we did before the meeting. Okay. Does anyone else? Yes, we have a question from Treasurer TM Rihana.
Yes, good afternoon. Dear, I just want to ask, where do we have to do mark the attendance? I cannot see the option.
There in the chat box, you will see a form link.
Okay, the form. Okay, I have started filling the form. Thank you so much, dear. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I had a doubt. This is Bino, the treasurer Bino. My club name is not there. We are from the Lion of Judah. It's not there in the name, in the list of clubs for that attendance form.
And the list of clubs.
Do you have other by any chance? I didn't see it also.
Sorry? No, I didn't know. It's not there. I checked now in that attendance form. The Lion of Judah is our club name from Bahrain, but it is not there. That name is not there at all.
Yes, true. I can't say that.
In L, there is only one, which is Life Principles or something. There is only one club.
Yeah.
With the,
I would recommend that you put that one, and then in the comments, if you can put, there is an option where you can do a comment. You can just put that there, please. In what areas of improvement do you suggest? You can put there.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
I can put there that the actual name of my club is this.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Where we can put the form? Sorry, where we can get the form?
You will find it in the chat box.
In the
chat box.
Chat box. Chat box. Where is the chat box? The here chat box. Okay, raise hand. I told you.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Just I had the same issue with the club name. It's not mentioned. So shall I choose any club and just write my club name at the bottom?
Yes, please.
Yes.
And can you let me know what is the club name so that we'll know?
𝗏𝗏𝗀𝒏𝒔 Toastmasters Club.
𝗏𝗏𝗀𝒏𝒔, okay, I will.
Can I have another question, please?
Yes. Nasreen, please tell us.
Yes. Concerning financial support too, is any support given to new clubs for giving some offers to newcomers or no? Did you get my question?
You mean membership payments for?
Yes. No, yes.
I don't believe that that the district or Toastmasters does that at all. But you can get yourself a sponsor. If you can find a sponsor, if it's a corporate club, the company itself can maybe help or can actually make payments for the people there who are going to be members in this club. Or it could be that you can find another company or another organization that gives financial support. Like you can go and try to talk to any of the big companies that have and these people do pay out monies to sponsor things like education or anything in the area of development. And if they accept, then they can actually pay your membership dues for you. We have Toastmasters Nidhi.
Good afternoon, Toastmaster Dalia. Thanks a lot, first of all, for such a wonderful presentation. I had a quick question. Now, if a Toastmaster wishes to be a member of two different clubs, so does that Toastmaster need to pay the full fees for both the clubs? Or is there some kind of discount that can run for that Toastmaster for already being a member of a single club before?
It's actually, if they're going to be a dual member in two different clubs, they have to pay the $45 to Toastmasters International twice, one for each club, unfortunately.
Okay, so there is no discount for being a member of the Toastmasters International already. He doesn't get a discount for being a member of another club. Okay, thank you.
Unfortunately not.
Okay,
I had the same issue when I joined my second club, and I actually thought that I was going to pay anything, but then I realized no, you pay the whole £45.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for letting me know.
Twice,
Thanks.
you pay twice.
Yeah, of course. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, any other questions? We still have some time, so.
We have another 2 minutes, so we can.
Another 2 minutes. Oh.
Thank you all for for being here, and thank you, Toastmaster Dalia, for that wonderful presentation. And if everything is done, we will be leaving the room. I'll be pausing the recording now.